Dr. Kilahama is responsible for coordinating conservation of the Eastern Arc Mountains.
We needed to sustain conservation of the forestry in the Eastern Arc in order to sustain our hydroelectricity and other economic activities. Water in Tanzania is a big issue because it is a dependable resource for our survival. We need water for power production. And of late, we have been facing power cuts, not only in the Eastern Arc, but this is throughout the country, and it is affecting much of our life. The main threats which affects our forestry in the Eastern Arc is agricultural expansion. We see many people moving into the areas, and they seek areas for agricultural farming. You know, the forestry have some potential for farming activity, and they attract many people to come and do farming. But fire is also another problem. Annually, we are seeing fires burnt, and they originate from far areas, but they affect the forest resources in the Eastern Arc.
Illegal logging for export to places like China and charcoal production are further threats to the forest. But Kanky finds some hope in a new Forestry Act.
When forest loss peaked in the 70s and 80s, and about 10% of the forest being lost, the situation reached a critical level. The government was persuaded through public pressure to adopt a participatory approach in managing the nation's forests. Let the people manage their forests or lose their forests was the message. The government listened. In 1998, a new forest policy was passed, followed by a new Forest Act in 2002. As a result, villagers now have the right to manage their forests and participate in managing the government's forest reserves.
In an effort to save what remains of the rainforest in the mountains of Tanzania, the government in 1998 adopted a new national forest policy that gave villagers the main say. At its heart was participatory forest management, much talked about and imperfectly applied. Here in Tanzania, it was a paper commitment until a national NGO, the Tanzania Forest Conservation Group, was formed in 1985. It started a campaign designed to make the locals aware of their statutory rights to safeguard their forest home.
By participatory forest management, the whole aims at to empower the communities, and this was the result to review the forest policy of 1998, so that you could increase the involvement of the communities in the management. That is decentralizing power from the central government to the low level, that is the communities.
In the village of Ugiri, Kanky meets the Forest Committee Chairman Julius Johoy. He's lived all his life in the mountains and feels that he is now finally making a positive impact in preserving the local environment.
The forests have been here for generations. People here have slowly watched the forests disappear. Until recently, they felt powerless to do anything. With the support from the Tanzania Forest Conservation Group, they were able to form a committee, and now they're able to manage the forests themselves.
An unequal battle between poor villagers and organized illegal loggers has been going on for years. The damage to the forest is evident, as old, cut trees can take 10 or more years to rot away. The first step in empowerment was to get the surviving forest demarcated into village forest reserves. Villagers like Abed Matoy tell Kanky they have a boundary to protect, and there are signs that a growing awareness on the part of the villagers of their rights is discouraging the thieves.
Outsiders used to come into the forest and cut down the trees. Later, experts came and taught us about forest conservation. After learning this, we started to manage the forest ourselves, and now many of the illegal loggers don't come anymore.
A village patrol discovers evidence of the removal of branches of a living tree for use as fuel wood. The damage is recorded so that data of forest disturbance can be analysed further. The problem is, what is the alternative for those driven to raid the forest for firewood?